This is 10.4, choosing an appropriate measure. We're going to use a measure of center and a measure of variation to describe the distribution of a data set. So the shape of the distribution can help you choose which measures are most appropriate to use. The mean absolute deviation, which we call the MAD, uses the mean in its calculation. So when the data is symmetric, so both sides are the same, the mean can describe the center and the MAD describes the variation. So variation means how is it spread out. Is there a lot in the middle? Is there a lot on one side or the other? The IQR uses quartiles in its calculation, and when a data distribution is skewed, that means the left side is taller than the right side. It's not symmetrical. We're going to use the median to describe the center and the IQR to describe variation. So the IQR tells me how is it spread out. The median tells me where's the center. So the frequency table shows the number of states that border each state in the U.S. What are the most appropriate measures to describe the center and variation? So to do that, I should probably make a histogram so I can see what does the distribution look like. It gives me a visual representation. So if I make this, I can see that it looks pretty symmetrical, that the highest is in the middle and the left and the right look like they decrease at similar ways. One side is not super steep, one side does not extend a lot farther out. So I would say that this is symmetric, and so we look back up at symmetric, and the mean represents the center, the MAD represents the variation. The dot plot shows the average number of hours students in a class spent on homework over the weekend. Describe the center and variation of the data set. So I wrote all over this one, but we can see there's dot, dot, dot. There's 2 here, 3. This goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have 3 and 1. So if I draw a line across the top, that would show me the distribution. So we can say most data is clustered around 9, which is more on the right, and the tail, so the long side, it looks like a tail, extends to the left. So we're going to say it is skewed left. Whichever way the tail points is whichever way it is skewed. So since it's skewed, median and IQR show the center and variation of the data set. The median here, so if I cross off 1 on each side until I get to the middle, the median is 8.5 hours. And the IQR, I need to find the first quartile by finding the middle of the bottom half, and the third quartile by finding the middle of the top half. And then I subtract quarter 3 minus quarter 1 to get the IQR is 1.5. So the data is centered around 8.5 hours. The middle half varies by no more than 1.5 hours. That middle half is the IQR.